There we go.
I know.
We are live. Let me make sure that no other YouTube windows are open. Okay, good. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Comics Chat that hasn't happened for, God, it seems like months, hey, Rasa? So joining me again is, of
Yeah.
course, our good friend LahRasa. Hello.
Hello.
And we have a brand new Sunday chatter with us, Rez. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're probably closer to my time zone, aren't you, Rez? You're probably like an hour difference or something.
Just an hour difference, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's good for you guys, man. For me, it's like I'm going about to sleep.
Oh yeah, really? What time isn't it?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay.
Giving
Oh, okay.
shit. It's at 7:30, so
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
That's
it's
not
a
so bad.
nice evening kind of thing, just before
That's
the
right.
like Monday again. So
Yeah. So we were just saying off air about just that it's been a while since we've caught up at all, Rasa. I mean, we haven't, we've talked a bit on Twitter and through videos and stuff, but not nearly as much as we used to. So let's just get right into it. What exciting stuff have you been reading? Like, what's been blowing your mind lately?
Well, I've been reading comics every week, so so those I'll forget about it. But in the back issue front, Gotham Central has been a thing I can't stop. I mean, I'm taking my time because I'm really enjoying it, but this is the thing I've been like completely obsessed by lately.
Yeah.
I've been having it for a really long time in my bins, but because ongoing like organization of comics, it's like, oh shit, I have this. Why didn't I read this? Like you discover this guy, and this is fantastic. Oh my god, this is one of probably the best comic detective stories I've read, and of course it's because it's written by Brubaker and Larkis on art, and you have Greg Rucka on it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been absolutely something I was like, oh my god, why did I take so long to do it? But I'm on an issue like this one now, 20. There's 40 of them, I think, issues. So I'm really enjoying. I'm pacing myself because I was like, everything, whatever is really good, I usually take my time.
Oh, is that me or is that you guys? Oh no, it's Rasa. I think we've lost her.
Oh yeah.
Lately, I picked up as well. The Volume 1.
Oh, Cerebus, yeah. You're cutting in and out there, Rasa. I don't know if you can hear us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No.
Cerebus.
You totally froze up, and then Rez was sitting really still too. I'm like, oh my god, I'm the only one. Everything is completely crapped out.
Okay.
Everybody's frozen.
Okay.
Just before you jump into that Cerebus, the Gotham Central stuff, I read it all in trades, and it was the same kind of thing. Like, I don't know why it took me so long to read it. It was such a good story, and I'm a huge David Simon fan, like The Wire and Homicide: Life on the Streets, and that series is so much like that, like those shows. I mean, that style of writing and the focus on like the police department and stuff, I thought was really, really good.
Well, Rez can attest to me too. We spoke about the same thing about The Wire, and we said like, "Fuck, this is amazing shit." So I said, "Bloody hell, you have to keep this one. Get to this one as long as you can."
Absolutely.
Because there's an omnibus now.
Oh really? Hey, oh nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something. I wanted to surprise you guys, but I broke down. I got the omnibus for.
You did. Oh nice.
Oh, that's so cool.
As soon as you told me you was talking about it in your video, I said, "Oh my God, Law and Order, The Wire, I gotta get it." So you're making me. I'm like, hurry up, mailman, bring me my copy.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So you won't regret it. If you like what we say, you like The Wire, or do you like, even though like Rez been talking about that other TV show, The River, or River is it called?
I don't know that one, but yeah.
If you haven't watch it, and it's absolutely fantastic. You have this main character who is, he talks to somebody, like, in his head. Nobody knows why, but he's his condition. And then he's a detective. But he's really brilliant because basically the murder victims is basically talking to him, in a way. So, in his head. So, it's fantastic as well. So, another detective stories, I really enjoyed it. So, thanks for us.
Is that a Netflix thing, too?
Yes, Netflix. It's awesome.
Cool.
Have you seen the Braquo? I talked about that too. It's a French show. but you can actually have subtitles in English, and it's really grungy, like The Wire. It's like I think honestly the French version of The Wire. It's so good.
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
too.
Oh, okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, and what little I know about like the French crime genre and stuff, they really handle it amazingly as well because they always have like it's that grittiness that's always really good. I don't know, for me anyway. And just I mean, can't talk enough about The Wire, but just the way he tackles the story and the writing on that is unbelievable. Like just letting you see all the sides. You don't read many superhero comics, do you, Rez? Oh, you've just muted. I see you're escaping. She's hiding.
I think her kids are giving her some
Yeah, she's had enough already. She's like, that's it, you guys, I'm done. You don't. I think that you don't read many superhero comics, though, do you, Rez? No, you don't. Okay. Uh-oh, she's got troubles. Anyway, so I mean, then Gotham Central is the perfect thing to get into because I mean, you don't need to know much about the superheroes involved. I mean, they do make appearances and stuff, but they're really kind of like the backstory to just this really good crime. And obviously, if you've got the omnibus, it's too late now, anyways. Even if you hate it. Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. And speaking of Cerebus, yeah, I jumped into that one too. I got the story though. I jumped in right to Jocka's story, so
yeah.
How that goes.
Yeah, I found it for cheap, and it's a volume 1, and then you don't see Cerebus at all. I don't see Cerebus at all in actually any kind of form. So when I saw this one, so I thought like this is it. I have to have it,
Yeah.
So
there was something that happened recently, and I can't remember the details exactly. Either there was a stockpile of Cerebus comics that were recently uncovered, or there's some more like beyond what you've just showed there, Rasa. Something else coming out again, where because all of a sudden the back issue bins here in Winnipeg are flooded with Cerebus comics. Like I see them everywhere now, where I didn't see any before. I didn't see any for a long time. I mean, if I did, it was like 1 or 2 issues, but. It's a series I've never read myself, though. How are you enjoying it?
I read the first story of it, and where he's defeating this sorcerer magician, and it was really good. I mean, it's simple storytelling because it's just the beginning of basically the Dave Sim work. So at the end of the day, it was something just like one story, but it's actually I like just the simplicity of it, and I'm already liking the character. I don't know how I start liking it a lot, but it's just the way he processes things, how he's approaching somebody, and like his big snout. It's like everything. So yeah, for first story, it's actually really good. So I'm taking, as I say, I have so many things to read. It's like piling up so much, so I pick up something snippets like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read this one for today or tomorrow, and yeah. Or if I go obsessed and I start reading like Gotham Central, like 20 issues in the one row, so it's like, oh, I need to slow down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's hard though when you find that book and it's just you can't put it down. I think Dave Sim is DaCosta's comic guy, because I know that Dave Sim had one of the first comic shops in Canada, if not the first one, and it still exists in Kitchener, Ontario, which is kind of DaCosta's neck of the woods. So yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
it would be
that's
nice
my
to
little
go and visit.
Canadian trivia for you there. There's my Canadian trivia. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. That's fine. Anything from you, Rez? I mean, is there, like, obviously you're still ordering. You really seem to be kind of just. Even when Jay-Z and I were talking yesterday, he put it very succinctly that Rez just seems hungry for comics. She's right in that zone of like, I need to just devour and just find some things that I like. So how are you finding it so far? Like YouTube experience in general, but like, because you seem to be pretty sure about what it is that you like. You know what kind of things you like, and the superhero thing is just not one of those things. It's more the European and the art kind of comics and stuff. So you seem pretty focused already.
Yeah, that's pretty much. You had it right on the nose with that. I find that when you read all these superhero stories, they can get a little daunting and repetitive. They have the same plot points. They hit the same point in the story where it just gets kind of boring, and you need something that's just gonna break you out of that mode and put you into another world. And I like the surrealism and a lot of different European stories, and I like the the ability to just take a ordinary type of plot and turn it around a couple of times, spin it around, and just make something completely different from it. It just that's what I like about the more obscure and indie artsy type of comics. So yeah, I definitely try to seek those out. You guys know that I'm always trying to find. I'm kind of just find myself really searching out these artists that are not really publicized at all. You can't find them in a comic shop. You gotta really you may have to pay a little bit more, but you're getting a different story, and it's just really refreshing,
Totally, yeah, it's worth the dig, right? So.
Yeah.
And also it's very exciting because at the end of the day, all stories are kind of different in what people are telling. So it's more like, oh my God, there's a buzz. Like, oh, I read something interesting, something new.
Yeah.
Rather than superheroes, I mean, that's the thing with me as well. I mean, I like superheroes, and I'm just still new into this comic book stuff. I mean, even though I've been maybe 4 years now, I've been reading it properly, the comic books, like seriously kind of thing. But I am so over the place now. I can read superheroes, I really like that, and I go really crazy about it, and I go read something completely opposite, and I like that. I mean, I like that I have completely whole thing for me where I can discover stuff. You never know where I'm going to discover or something I'm going to like. So, yeah, I like that.
It's the same way that I felt through my whole life, even with music and stuff. I've never really understood why you just want to read or listen to or watch one specific genre and just stick with that. It just seems kind of like, I don't know, man, doesn't that shit get boring after a while? You just, like you're saying, you're seeing the same story, you're seeing the same plot points, you know what's going to happen on page 14, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, it just seems a little dull. As much as I love the superhero stuff, I love it, I don't deny that at all, but I don't know, there's something about that discovery. Even Jay-Z and I talked about it, like just that idea of finding that weirdo kind of comic in the back issue bin that's like, what the hell is this? And then you pop it open and it's the best thing you've ever read in your life because it's just one nut job's kind of view and take on this comic story. It's amazing. It's great stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
So is the superhero stuff super daunting then, Rez? Like, is that when you think about it, do you just feel like, oh my God, there's so much history, I don't even know where to begin, and I don't know if I even want to,
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I love, when I first started collecting and I looked at the shelves and it was all Marvel and all DC. I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening. I can't handle it. It was just so much trepidation there. I was like, you know what? Let's start with something crazy and weird.
I think superheroes have too much baggage as well. Like they have history behind them, so that's why you have it oh my God, why? I mean, there's so many colorful things, but I don't understand any of it. So
well, there's the history baggage, and then there's the online fan baggage as well that you get to deal with joyously. It's a little too much. So do you remember what the first thing was you bought from a comic shop, Rez?
Yes. It was the very first thing that I purchased from a comic shop was it was a Dead Space, one of the Dead Space comics.
Okay.
I know I talk about it a lot but it was just like I was, after playing the game and getting fully immersed into it, it was just like I wanted more. I wanted more, and it's not the most. It's not the best series, it's not, but it's just something about it. It speaks to the sci-fi nerd in me. It reminds me of this one show that I tuned into called Lex. It was the first 2 seasons were the best, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't like Star Trek or any other type of show out there. But when I grabbed it, I was like, I need more, and I want the whole entire series. I want memorabilia. I want toys. It was one of the first series that I actually wanted everything in it, and next it was, of course, Saga, things like that. The Wicked and Divine. I didn't really like that so much, but
The Wicked and the Divine you didn't like, no?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, I like the illustration style. I mean, like everyone says, it's beautiful and it's colorful, and the palette it's just really pretty to look at. But I think that's as far as it goes with the series for me. It's just pretty. That's it. As far as substance, I'm not getting anything out of it. It's just so jumbled,
Yeah, I find it. I read the first couple of issues, and I found that it was the same thing, kind of thing. It's really beautiful and too pasty, kind of. It's too perfect of the art for the story to go along with it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm not giving enough chance. I didn't give enough chance anyway. I just dropped it because that didn't give me drive to go, okay, I need another issue to pick it up because of that so perfectly constructed art. I find then it's too perfect in the art-wise, it's too boring. I'm looking for flaws then. I start looking for every single bit, like, oh, maybe that hand was in the right place or something like that. And that completely distracts me from the story. So I was like, no, I have to get away from it. I'm going to drop it. And if I want to pick it up, I can always pick it up in trade. So
yeah, it seems to be everywhere. I think I bought the first issue, and I don't even know if I made it to the first issue. And then I ended up trading it in because nothing about it appealed to me. I couldn't tell you the first thing about it even now. It just didn't stick with me whatsoever. So, yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's getting better now. Apparently now, with like Othello Thoughts, in Roundtable, he always talks about really highly about this book. I probably believe it. Maybe it's you need to that push, or you need to be a bit more patient, and then the story will basically reward you for you reading it. But I just didn't have enough for me for a couple of first issues.
Well, I think we've even talked about that before too, like the whole idea of being patient with stuff. There's such a fine line, right? Like it's still got to kind of grab you to some degree in the first issue. I mean, I'm all for like a slow-paced story and watching things unravel. But I mean, if it doesn't kind of catch me with something in the first issue or two, I just can't be bothered. There's just so many choices that it's tough to. You got to have something for me. You know what I mean? So.
Well, there's a few things for me. For example, when I was reading Revival, the first couple of issues, everybody's like, oh yeah, it's a good story, like really involved. But I start caring to characters a lot. And that's why I start, okay, I'm going to be patient now. I'm going to see where he's going to go. And I start loving so much that it's one of my favorite stories ever, or comics ever. So, it depends. I think for every single one of us, it's very different. But if the story can grab you by characters, for me, for example, personally, if the character is who I can relate to, or it gets me interested, or start questioning answers about the character, then I'm going to probably be patient. But that one just didn't grab me, I guess.
Yeah. I had actually tuned into like 3 trades of that series. I gave it so much tries and so much chances, and I just didn't like it. It was like Clean Room for me. I didn't feel as intensely about the series that I did Clean Room, but it took too long for me to. I mean, by now it's like 4th or 5th trade, and it's just now picking up. Oh. It's crazy that it's just now kind of. I'm guessing people are liking it now, but. Those first 3 trades were just, I don't know.
Oh man, and that's something to say. If the first 3 trades haven't grabbed you, that's pretty much something, yeah.
Well, that's a lot to give a chance to.
Yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment,
You're very patient. Yeah, you're.
5 stars for you, Rez. You have to put like a sticker, I am patient.
Yes. One that I finished yesterday that I know I was talking to Rez about yesterday is the Otir.
What is it all about?
Holy crap. It kind of caught me right away. I mean, it's first of all because it's kind of in my wheelhouse of like weirdo, almost underground, crazy art. But the main character is like a film producer, and he's had kind of a series of really trashy B-movie type of hits and stuff, and he's going to try to make like his opus. So that's volume 2. Yeah, see, I got to get volume 2 because this one I read in kind of one sitting and just fired through it, and it is some of the craziest shit I think I've read in a long time, but yet I laughed out loud so many times, and like I said, especially because of like working in film and stuff, there was some things that I could totally relate to in regards of like some of these crazy kind of directors and producers and their ideas and stuff. But man, it was a great story. I really, really liked it. So if you haven't read this one, Rasa, you should try to find a copy of this sucker. It's mental. It's really mental.
Who's writing it?
Rick Spears. I always want to say Rick Veitch, but Rick Spears, and James Callahan is the artist. And then is Luigi Anderson, is he the colorist? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a colorist. Yeah. You would think Rick Veitch would do this.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's that kind of crazy, but it's a hell of a read, and the art is just it's out of control. It's just totally out of control. I mean, I don't even know what I can show from it, but it's just completely out of control. The way, just all this madness that happens to these characters is. I don't know. I find it really darkly funny.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just love. I mean, I love this story. You know, you already know. I adore it.
So it's only two trades out, or is it gonna be more than that? Only two?
Oh, I hope so. I hope there's another one. You know, this is one of the first series I tracked down and stocked. When I first started my collection back up, I was like, "You get me this." I went to the store, I ordered it, and they were like, "What is that? What is auteur?" I'm like, "I don't know what it is. Just get it, and we'll see what it is."
Wow. Yeah.
So were you getting in singles as well, or did you just get the trade?
I just got it in trade.
Okay.
I wish I would have got this in singles. I think that would have been a great little journey.
Yeah. And how many issues are in the second one? Because this first one is what, 1 to 5, right?
Yeah, I think this one has about 6 of them because it's actually a little bit thicker.
Yeah. And it's I'm assuming it's continuing with the same characters because I mean it almost this first volume was so good too it almost kind of tied it up and it became just kind of this weird kind of I don't know like love story. It was so strange. It was just so strange this journey that you get taken on with this out of control just absolute fucking maniac and then by the end of the day it's almost like he's just fallen in love with this woman and it's this kind of it's such an interesting ending. I don't think I've ever really read anything like it. It's very bizarre, very unique for sure. Yeah. So sorry, it follows the same character in the second volume.
It still has some of him in there. It still has the love interest from the first one. But yeah. You still have a lot of the same characters in here. But they refer to it. It's like a you know how you begin. I guess they begin the series again because it collects 1 through 5, but it's book 2, if that makes sense.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still wacky and crazy. I love it.
Yeah, no, I gotta find it. This one was super cheap in Galaxy Comics, so that was great.
That's cool.
I paid like $20 for this one.
You paid how much, sorry?
Like $20 when it came out. I had paid $20 for it.
Yeah.
It was worth it though.
I think it was like $9 Canadian for mine, which is whatever that is, 50 cents US. I don't know what the translation is these days. It's so we're so out of whack. It's crazy.
I hear the
discontent. Yeah, that was one that definitely blew me away. That and I mean, yesterday talking to Johnny Zero, this Army at Love. I don't know if you ever read that, Rasa. But that's a pretty fun series too. He had sent me the first 2 volumes of that, and I'm pretty much finished that as well. And that was a hell of a lot of fun read. Similar, like not as kind of mental as this one, but still bizarre and out there. So yeah.
Cool.
I really want to read that. I had ordered it, so I'm waiting for it to get here. But I can't wait to jump on with you guys about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Cool. I'm waiting for Doctor Strange Omnibus because I've been pre-ordering and I bloody can't wait because I've been wanting it for so long. I mean, sorry, it's superhero.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
So I've been waiting for that. So I'm waiting to get that in my hands. But other than that, I've been kind of I'm trying to get like I always say to myself, I need to come down, and then go back, and then we go travel somewhere with my husband, and then end up having like I have short and a half of single comic books piling up like whole video, like they call saying.
Yeah.
I have that many books to show off what I have, and it's like, oh my god, where I'm gonna put them all?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what does the Doctor Strange Omnibus collect? Is it just the Strange Tale stuff? Or is it?
Apparently, so I'm not really sure. I just went for it. I mean, it just called Doctor Strange, and I was like, I want basically what I hope it will be. It will be like they released the Shield where they have Nick Fury omnibus, which was only the Fury part of Strange Tales. So I'm hoping they're gonna include maybe Strange Tales of the origin. Probably will be an origin of Doctor Strange, and then hopefully a couple of other things, which I'm really looking forward to, because it's nice to have it in collected. I mean, I am getting a bit more and more into kind of trades. Watching Res doesn't help as well. So I have like single issues addiction now. I'm gonna be trade addiction. So this YouTube really doesn't help you.
Yeah, no, it totally doesn't.
No, because everybody's like, it's all about how much. Maybe it's a very blunt way to say, but how much people are selling it, kind of thing. something, like, oh my god, this is so amazing, and you read it and you like believe it, and you're like, that's actually really fucking fantastic. Thank you very much. So yeah, YouTube is not helping, but you know.
Yeah, no,
so,
not at all.
I mean, without it, honestly, without it, things like this wouldn't be in my collection.
Yeah.
It would be quite disappointing and boring in a way, because since I've been continuously talking the same thing, but since I've been part of this YouTube thing, my addiction, I will call it, it is high, but there's so many things I've discovered which I really, really love, and it's like so much to explore and a fantastic thing to have as an addiction, you know.
Yeah. I think Rez, every time she freezes, we should freeze too, just to.
Yeah.
You just froze for a second, though. We did hear you, though.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I mean,
okay.
I don't know.
Right.
It doesn't show to me. It looks like I'm all fine and
Yeah.
I'm just continue talking. That's why. So it doesn't really give it to you.
Yeah.
give it to me. Saying, oh, you're not really talking. So.
I've still been reading through this. Speaking of The Good Doctor, and
Okay.
I'm loving I'm really loving the black and white. I think I was saying it in the video too. I don't know how much of that video actually came out that one day, but just reading those old stories has been great. And then my son and I have been reading. I found a bunch of course they're not here. Oh yeah, no, here they are. I have a bunch of these Marvel's Collector's Item Classics. They're actually pretty cheap to find. I've been finding them for, sometimes like $3 or $4. And they reprint a lot of the old Strange Tale stuff too, including the very first Doctor Strange is in one of these issues as well. And that's been a hell of a lot of fun to read those with Mr. Tom as well. But the black and white, as far as like Ditko's art, I mean, I'm now, it's not like I was never a fan, but I'm now just kind of really turning into a super fan of Ditko, because the posing and everything is unbelievable, and just his line work, seeing the progression in this book alone is so fantastic to see how his panels changed, like not only changed but grew in size, and his kind of style became a little more minimal almost. It's not as dense. Some of the early stuff, the panels are pretty densely packed, and as you go on, he kind of really stretches out and uses a lot of just white space that you don't normally see in, well, you see it in the color ones, but it really stands out in the black and white. It's pretty impressive. Like, his illustration is really, really great to watch, so hopefully that omnibus collects all that stuff just so you can see it, and it'll be something that I'll probably end up billing some money for, as well as that Nick Fury one, because I've seen people talk about that, and that looks incredible, especially the one where you can pull out the panels of the pages too to make the really long spreads. That looks beautiful stuff.
Yeah, it's only one. Unfortunately, I don't know why they didn't include more, but this one big one is which Starenko. You can just keep on unfolding, and there's this massive picture, and Starenko is fantastic with his art as well. So really cool. I mean, like superhero stuff, like Forez, for example. If superheroes, all the stuff is always good to go. Don't buy new. Honestly, you just go read. Like I basically now picking up like DCs. And I was reading, before I picked up Justice League, I picked up a couple older issues, like from 60s, and I'm reading it. And then I picked up new one, and I read it, and I saw completely boring. So I was like, I dropped that book straight away, the new one, because it was not good enough for me. So if you want to get into superheroes, perfectly, if you can, go get some, like those reprints and stuff like that, like Comic Cracker showed to you. It's not so bad. It's honestly, usually the stories are one single issues, and that's why it's not so bad, because it doesn't, it's just single story telling, which is perfect, from beginning to the end, and you start to get to know the characters. So that's how I got in love with superheroes more, because I started reading the back issues.
Well, and that's the thing I never understand about people, again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but just like to accentuate the point that I think Dr. Monkeybot made in his video, is just that I just don't understand about the complaining about the new comics. If you don't like the new stories, there's fucking 60 years of comics, behind you that you can dig into. There's a million goddamn stories out there. If you don't like what's being written right now, go dive in the 50-cent bins and grab some, or grab a reprint. Like, suck it up. Just read something older. I just don't get it. Because there's just so much there. And I totally agree with LahRasa, is like, especially these essential ones, are usually pretty cheap. And I know when I did that video, a lot of people complain that they don't like the essentials because it's in black and white. I partially agree with that because, I mean, Doctor Strange is really beautiful in color, but it's also really good in black and white, honestly. And it's also interesting to see what they did with that character at the beginning, because he was almost like not quite like a crypt keeper, but he was almost the host of a little story that really just did last that one issue that you had a beginning, a middle, and end to. And it was just kind of a throwback to those kind of, well, it wasn't a throwback because it was out in, what, 61, I guess, was the first, or 60, early 60s anyway. It's just a really nice way to tell a story where, like you said, you don't need to read 97 other issues to kind of figure out what the hell is going on, you know. And they're pretty dense dialogue-wise, too. I mean, sometimes a little overly so, but for me, all the draw to a lot of this is that illustration style. Like, that art style is, I don't know, it's beautiful to watch. It's really, really nice. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what the thing with the new stuff. I mean, I've been, like, when I started reading comic books, especially new ones, I didn't know where I was going. I went to the comic book shop. I asked my comic book guy. Well, at first I left and then came back again. Anyway, so I asked the comic book guy, what should I read? And he didn't know what to say. He didn't say, just pick up something and see if you like it. And from that point onwards, that's how it was with superheroes all the time. I picked up something I was thinking maybe I'm going to like. And, you know, if you like it, fantastic. If you don't, wow, there's so much choice. That's the thing with comic books. This is the medium where it's so vast and broad. It like has such a big history, has so many things which has been written already. So it's not something what you have new all the time is good, whereas back there is fantastic. There's so many things you can discover the same way as you're discovering any independent stuff you read all the time. So
yeah. All that said, though, it would be nice to. I know that I think it's Dark Horse is doing some of the Mobius stuff. It would be nice to see more choices of European stuff here. I mean, it just drives me crazy sometimes that when you do find it. I mean, I'm sure Rez knows exactly the price is just unfucking believable. I can't get over it sometimes how much they're charging for these books, right? But that would be really nice to see more of.
It's funny enough, I'm in UK and I'm honestly discovering something back from whatever next door to us, Europe. It's very difficult. I mean, French stuff you don't see them in here or haven't really discovered. I mean, you know, there's so many like French stories or artists I've seen which I really like to read, but I can't bloody understand any of French. You know, I'd love to because of the fantastic art and it looks like the story flows really well. Whatever I've discovered, but as well, like I really wish lots of things would be placed in English language rather than whatever, you know, in Italian or in French, which is so many things you can discover. Like that Black Sad, you know, like because Dark Horse has this translated it, that book. Oh my God, if he hadn't, I wouldn't have read it. So it's what a discovery, and it's a fantastic character as well.
It really is good, yeah. The Black Sad I have is fantastic as well. I love it.
Did you get all three of the books?
I haven't got all three yet. I've got two of them. The shop that I bought them from, he didn't have the third one, but he said he's going to get it in because he was, I think as I said in the video, or maybe I said it to you, he was really excited that I was buying it because he's clearly a big fan, so he couldn't contain himself. He was gushing about it right off the hop, which was very cool. So, yeah. I'm sure he'll get it in for me.
So yeah, and it's the same thing about Mobius, man. I mean, when I got those blueberries, I was jumping. When I got in the mail, I was like jumping like a kid, and my husband's like, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Oh my God, I mean, a blueberry." I was like, and he's like, "What?" What is
That's how I was.
Yeah.
And then, you know, this kind of things, like where I've been like I heard about blueberry from the beginning when I started collecting. So it took 4 years for me finally get some of it. And it's like when I saw the first one, just like, you know, you open up the package and you see it, it's like you can't believe it. You touch it like you're like a kid. Oh my God, is it right? Is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, this kind of things like this, you know, like Mobius stuff is I mean, in single issues is crazy priced as well. So hopefully, as you guys mentioned, both of you as well, that Dark Horse may be releasing it in English, and some of the stuff I cannot wait because I want to have as much as I can from him because it's really good stuff.
Have you heard anything specific, Rez, as what they're going to be releasing? Because I just kind of had a brief look into it.
you already know that they're releasing the World of Adana with the addition of the Stealth story. So that's gonna be released in November. So
Oh,
I
okay.
can't
Oh,
wait for
wow.
that.
Right
I
away.
already have, yeah, I have it on pre-order, and then they're actually releasing over the next year or two. They're gonna release Inside Mobius, which you already have in Spanish,
Yeah.
the Spanish editions, but they'll be releasing all of the Inside Mobius stories.
That's cool.
Yeah, over the next year. So I'm really excited about that. I've already read it, but it'll be nice to kind of see what the English edition contributes to the translations. You know.
Yeah. And to see, I'm assuming they're gonna have some extras and stuff in there too, or.
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of extra art pages that have not been released at all, or even in the French edition. So it's gonna be really nice to see that.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's good. I'm looking forward to that already.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, thank God some of these companies exist and are doing really well. You know what I mean? Like that Titan, even though their third Lone Sloan I haven't heard anything about it yet. But I mean, thank God there's people out there that are publishing this stuff, that are putting it out for everybody to read. You know. And it's so funny what you were saying, Rasa, about like jumping up and down for joy. It's just the puzzled looks I get in the house sometimes from my wife. Is just like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, well, look at this. It's fucking beautiful. Yeah, okay, it looks good, but Jesus, take it easy.
Yeah, you see my kiddo like, Mommy, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
One thing, I had to take a nap. I had to take a nap because I was so darn excited. I was like, I can't believe I just tired myself out.
That's hilarious, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fantastic stuff like this. Like that's the thing. And it's perfect. I mean, I was thinking all the time. It's like such a perfect addiction to have. You know, not only makes you joyous like a child. It's you discovering stuff and you sharing. And I guess maybe, as I say, YouTube does add up to that excitement even furthermore, because you cannot wait to. You know, you find people who is as excited as you are. Like, you know, we say husband or wife says like, "What the hell are you talking about? It's just a book."
Yeah.
And you're like, "No, it's not just a book.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something I really fucking wanted."
It's more than just a book.
Yeah. The most craziest thing is when I start thinking sandwich or comic. And that's just like, I skip coffee just to have like, oh, I'm gonna buy comic, this and this. I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit weird. I mean, I can have a coffee, you know. I can just wait for the comic. No, I mean, comics goes first.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. How weird is that? But hey, you know what? I think it's perfect. I mean, I'm probably gonna have. I mean, how long is it gonna get this obsession? But I want to have walls of stuff. And then when I grow old, I just pick one. Oh, look at that! I've never seen this before. You know, you get lost in your own shit.
Yeah, that's right. Where the hell did I get this from? How long has this been here? I've been looking for this forever.
Yeah. That's what the thing, you know, I was really getting stressed and saying, oh, I can't read this. I bought so many things, you know, so many things to backlog. But then Rez says the same thing, and I was like, oh, thinking, oh, yeah, exactly that. You know, you don't have to. You know, one day you can just slip one thing out, and you're like, fuck, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I have it. That's the thing I like about this as well. So, fantastic.
How are your shelves looking there, Rez?
Oh God.
Yeah.
They're out of control.
Yeah, they're out of control.
I need more shells.
Really? Yeah.
I'm like, time's infinity. Because if you see my mantle, my fireplace, it's not a fireplace. It's a shelf.
The bookshelf. That's funny.
Yeah, and I have like these stacks and stacks of comics. It's so addicting. And I went backwards. You know, I started off with the trades, hardcovers, and then I just into single issues, and I'm like, okay, I need a shelf like Mr. Osborne and LahRasa. Like that's what I need. I need a shelf just for the single issues, and then I need a shelf. So it's super exciting. I'm just you know, right now I know I need to fix this and go to IKEA, you know, and get me some Billy shells or something.
Yeah, well, it's the best thing, man. It's cheap as well.
Yeah.
IKEA for comic book storage only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
they should have they should have like a few aisles just dedicated to comic book
The
lovers.
comic book collectors. Yeah,
Imagine you would have this, like, the area when they show your bedrooms in IKEA. Instead, they show you how the comic books should be collected in your
Oh yeah.
and you have like shelves visibility. This was perfect for your trades, but then
That's
wait,
right.
you have short boxes which we can make it in wood for you, so you can store them upright. No, with backing boards as well. It's a special
That's
edition.
totally right.
That would be. If they have these special drawers you could pull out for your single issues.
Oh my
Exactly.
God. Yeah, that's what gets me. That's what I want. I want something that's enclosed in like a nice wood pull drawer. Like, oh my God, that's the plan for upstairs. But it's not an anytime soon plan. But that's our plan for upstairs. Would be beautiful.
You heard about my plan. I want that little solar house. I want like a little solar library for my backyard.
That's right. Yeah.
I could just walk in there and I just have all these books just surrounding the whole entire walls, and I sit in this nice, comfy little chaise, and I just read for a few hours. You know,
Yeah.
it's a dream, but I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the thing, and I started already saying, like, to my husband, oh, I'm gonna buy some tools, and he's like, why are you buying tools for? Well, I'm gonna build my own shelf. It's like, what? What do you mean you building? Oh yeah, I'm gonna start doing my shelves. I'm gonna have those special drawers. I've been watching some videos of these people doing those drawers. I was like, that's so actually fantastic, but I'm not gonna do it. I mean, maybe if I had my own space, I would. But so far, I am where I have space for now. I have, but my crazy how much comics I have. I've been trying to organize them, and now they're in 2 floors as well, which is I have here, where you have it behind me. This is just like a fraction of what I have. So, which is really alarming already. I was like, this is a fraction. Before I started, there was nothing in here.
That was it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not gonna turn it back. I don't know anything. This is all perfect. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then I have upstairs. I have very similar. I actually never showed. I should make a video. But I bought the same kind of shelving like you have, Comic Rack. You bought, those wired shelving.
Yeah.
So I have very similar that, but it's less maybe storage space than you have. But anyway, so I made something up like that. So yeah, you're always involved in storage as well, which is funny.
Yeah, totally.
Not only reading, but making sure you take care of your comic books.
That's right. Well, and that's I'm glad that we have this room down here that it's big enough for the both of us to share, and it works out so nicely, my little apartment here downstairs in the house. It's hilarious.
That's good. Well, it's good to have space,
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, and that's like you were saying, Rez, like just that idea of having your little hideaway where you can just go and read. I mean, that's especially people with kids. That's like it's a glorious thought, just to have.
Yes.
Which is why when my daughter still goes down for naps, it's just a nice little reprieve to sit and I can read and chat and whatever. It's that thought is exceptional sometimes. Yeah.
It is, because I'm telling you, I try to read, and as soon as I sit down and I start lounging back in my chair, I start hearing little noises, and then it gets louder, and I'm like, I can't read. Please stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, please just settle down. And I spend the whole hour that I would have intended to dedicate to a book to trying to settle these kids down, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this is a bad day.
Yeah, that's right. Go outside and play.
Yeah. I just started doing that. So you know what? Y'all gonna have to go outside. Just do it. Just go in the backyard. It's big enough. Go out there and play. Just do whatever.
Yeah, your kids are a bit older too, aren't they?
They're all under 6 right now.
Oh, 6. Under 6. Oh, okay.
Yes.
My oldest, they were like 8. Yeah.
No. They'd be a little more independent, but 6, 5, and she just turned 3. My daughter.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 kids. Jesus.
Yeah. I know, right? If people actually ask me, do I want more? And I'm like, what?
Well, you know what? I'm very surprised because when you make your videos, you always it's very quiet around you. I mean, you glance sometimes to look probably to your kids, but it's really you always have your own time to do your videos. Amazing. The woman has kids, but then she just talks and they go and she has the video. Wow, I wish I had that kind of the time and space and kind of thing. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I'm really admiring that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I try. I talk to him like, hey, can you give mommy like a few minutes, please?
Totally.
It'll work sometimes. You guys see their heads popping in every now and then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I wanted to add
time
something really quick
Yeah.
when you guys were talking about the translation of books.
Mhm.
I think that's why I'm really into wordless comics. You guys know how I feel like because they're so universal. They could reach
Yeah.
everyone when they don't have that text attached to them. But you find that they're always in the weirdest places. You guys know that I just did that VIP book with the penis on the forehead.
Oh yeah.
That book. Yeah, and it was completely wordless, and it was so awesome to find that. But I wish there was more stuff out there, where you don't have to have words attached to it, and you can still get this beautiful artwork, and story along with it.
And still be able to follow what's going on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you guys have anything like that in your collection?
I don't really have much that's too wordless, but do you find sometimes like even when I was reading Lone Sloan, for example, just because that's right on the tip of my tongue, the story was great and everything, but I didn't find it necessary just to kind of sit and absorb the art and like the world that he's building and stuff. Do you find that sometimes even with the books that you do read, the dialogue is kind of secondary anyway, and especially when it gets into some of like maybe the superhero type of stuff, again, some of the things that follow kind of certain tropes and genres and stuff like that, you can kind of glance over them where they're not as necessary, and I still find I enjoy the stories even if I haven't remembered every single sentence and every single word that they've said. You can get the gist of it and it still kind of works. You know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. I find that with a lot of these sometimes the translated works, I find that sometimes you don't need the text at all because the pictures do the talking for you.
Yeah.
Well,
And
if you have a good storytelling, no, sorry, I'm being budging in here. But if you have a good storyteller, of course, it's actually, like if an artist is really good to tell the story, it's definitely sometimes you get like lost completely in his art and you don't really care about the what's written. But yeah, I don't even recall I have any of books like that, like what you said just now.
I think I've got one by that Johnny Zero showed it off yesterday. The Delgado, I think his name is, and I think it's that Age of Reptiles that it's about dinosaurs, and that's a wordless thing. But I wouldn't say that's the art is beautiful because his art is amazing. I guess it tells a story well enough. It's not exactly the most mind-blowing story. It's just about survival, basically. But his art is so beautiful to look at that's one that pops into my head. He also sent me a zine. Jay-Z sent me a zine that was really good. I'm blanking on the artist's name as well. But it was the same kind of thing. It had that very European Mobius type of style, and that was a really nice short little story that I think just worked amazingly well. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that I have that's wordless. I think it was Delgado. I think that was the guy's name.
Okay, yeah. I'm always on the search for sequential art. Something that is gonna not have any kind of text to it, because sometimes you get tired of reading. Especially if you hit something really heavy, and you're like, okay, I need something to break up the monotony.
Yeah.
I need to, maybe I don't know, just refresh my eyes a little bit. So I can get back into what I was reading before, and that's why I think I switch so back and forth, with all these different. I'm all over the place, like LahRasa said. I'm just everywhere.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's perfect, actually.
Yeah, totally.
I think when you have a broader taste, it's less confined. That's the thing. I like that because I don't like to be like in like little one box, and I like to just discover shit. So as much as I like it, so that's cool. I wanted to ask you guys: have you read East or West? Are you reading East or West comic book?
I read the first trade of it, but I haven't got any more yet.
Okay. Have you?
I have the hardcover book, and I stopped at that. I really liked it, but I have not jumped into the single issues.
Oh no, yeah, well,
the hardcover.
I bet those hardcovers are very beautiful as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they're very nice. I liked being able to actually. I think that's the whole comic series as a whole is better to read when it's condensed into a collective, more so than single issues. I would hate to have to follow that single issue.
So where's that patience of yours then?
I know, right? It scatters. It's one series at a time.
I only been reading in single issues, and I've been telling from the beginning I started reading it. I am absolutely in love now. In the latest issue we have read, it's exactly what I was waiting for to be. I'm not going to say anything because you guys, haven't read so far. But honestly, it's really, really highly recommended because it's really intense storyline, but it's so many things because it's Hickman, of course. The guy condenses his story quite thickly, kind of thing. But it's fantastic world he's building up, or he's already built it. So yes, I am surprised how much I actually really enjoy it. The characters, that's the thing. The kid, the Babylon, the kid who he's fantastic. That's characters. It's just superb. I really like him. I just enjoyed it a lot. So one of the highlights of the week for me.
Hickman is also good at like that long game too, right? Like as much as he's good at kind of condensing stuff in a story, he's also good at, he knows the long haul. He doesn't seem like one of those writers who's kind of writing it one issue at a time. Like you get the sense in some of the books sometimes that they're really just, here's the premise, let's just kind of go. He's got the long game kind of gone, which is great. And I really liked the first two trades. I was a little ticked off though because as soon as I bought I think it was the first two trades, I saw the hardcovers, and I prefer to have the hardcovers, honestly. So I'm waiting for all the hardcovers and just get them that way, because I agree with you. With some of them, this one specifically, it seems like one I'd want to read kind of in a chunk. I don't know if I could read it kind of month to month. I really liked reading this one as kind of a collection where I could read the first 6 issues, and just really get the story. Howler Mouse is saying hello. He says the community is just hopping today, and LahRasa, awesome. So hello.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, 2 people watching. Jared Osborne's here as well. 2 viewers, people. 2 viewers.
Wow, we're getting superstars already. Well, the thing is about Hickman, I don't know. You see, you guys saying that you're okay reading it in the hardback. For me, Hickman is when I read in singles, I need to digest what I just read, because sometimes I find when I read his book in hardback or whatever, trade paperback, whatever, collector series, I get kind of lost in translation in a way. Kind of, I lose the point where he tells. But if I do read it in singles, I read. Like kind of digest, and then next issue comes out. Oh, it reminds me exactly what I read. And I was like, oh yeah, there you go. That makes sense. This makes sense. Okay, this character did this stuff. So in the same way, that's why maybe I'm preferring, maybe just because from the beginning I started reading it single issues. But yeah, fantastic story. And then he has this new story as well, Black Monday Murders. That was a bit bizarre, but intense.
It was very bizarre. Hey, I read that first issue. I picked that one up like the week after, because I saw Travis and them talk about it on the round table, and I couldn't resist. That's a dense read. That's going to some territory. Who the hell knows? And that's the other thing that's good about him too, with some of these, that you kind of get this general idea, but ultimately, what the hell is he going to do with it? Like, where's it going to go? That mystery is really nice as well, because he doesn't kind of, he sort of fits in a genre-ish, but he never, it's always a surprise where some of the stories are going. It can be kind of off-putting sometimes, but I don't know. I really liked. What did you think of that issue? Otherwise.
Oh yeah, I mean, I when I read it, whole of it, I was like, geez, did I understand exactly what it was about?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you have the family, then you have the stock exchange, then they are like part of this big thing, and then the murder happens, and that's when that detective who has been in trouble, but suddenly he has to be part of it because he has some powers apparently. That's when I thought, oh, this is good. That's when I got like, oh, I really like this, because it's probably because it's a detective. That's what I really enjoy. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh wow, this is like crazy murder. What's gonna happen? And he's like, it's finished. I thought, oh shit, I have to wait for next month.
Yeah, I like the occult angle in it too, as far as like,
exactly
dealing with the stock exchange. It's a weird kind of mix, but somehow seems right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are we gonna have magic part as well in there? Did they make? He's mentioned magic, some magic part as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because of that occult and then something bizarre and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's Hickman. It's like, oh, okay. You love it or you hate it, kind of thing. But,
totally. I think that's true as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people are just like, oh no, East or West is too much. It's going to be too much to read. But the last issue I had, it had probably really good like action scenes, and they were so well done for me. I was like, bloody hell, why he's not doing it more? You know, like more action, less talking kind of thing. But because he has such a fantastic artist, LahRasa, is does fantastic stuff in design and in characterizations and facial expressions that you kind of like, wow. And in the action scenes, I was like, maybe for the first time I noticed it properly, and they were so good, well done. It's like, wow, more, please, more. Yeah, so.
Does he come from a design background himself? Because I always get the impression that, you know, I know that he does a lot of kind of the cover designs and some of the layouts and things. I wonder how involved he is with the artist. He's probably one of those writers that's pretty involved with the artist as far as this is what I want to have happen on a page. I don't know. I'm speculating.
I mean, I've watched a couple of his interviews with Hickman, and it sounds like he's very in control of what he wants in his comics. So I presume so. I've never heard him saying that, but the way he's talk about the stories, like, you know, like he knows exactly every single point where he's gonna have it and when he's gonna do it. So I guess, I don't know. It would be interesting to see if an artist would be like, okay, let's talk about Hickman and how he works.
Yeah, totally. Hear from their side.
Fantastic. That would be like the best probably videos I would watch, because I would like to kind of know how they have to deal with those writers and how they have to portray what they wanted to see, and that would be great.
Yeah, totally. Is out of new stuff, is there anything else that you're reading that's really kind of amazed you? Because I know, like you said at the beginning, you still pick up stuff every week, or you get stuff mailed to you every week, rather.
Yeah, it's Kill to be Killed, that Brubaker new book. Did you read it?
I did, yeah.
That was a bit. It depends. It's going to that terrorist side of it, which I don't really want to see it. But it's Brubaker. You see, when we were reading Velvet, which is fucking fantastic. Even though the ending was could have been better, because the character is such a fantastic thing that you could use it anywhere, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But because it's Brubaker and the way he started telling the story, it was interesting, but it just had too many question marks, which is actually the second issue is coming out next week, I think. If I'm right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, the first one was spectacular. What I'm really looking forward to is the Remender's new book. I forgot the name of it. He just finished Tokyo Ghost. I liked it, the ending. I heard a couple of people wasn't really excited about it. I think it tied up really well as a storyline. I really like the Sean Murphy art. Oh, that guy can draw. I mean, not only can he draw whatever, body masses and the movements he portrays, but his backgrounds. This is the guy who, in nowadays, who can you say, okay, the guy knows everything, kind of thing, because he can draw the backgrounds really well, the sceneries he's portraying, the atmosphere he's able to build in one page, the panel grids he's using, usually always different, which just makes it so interesting. I mean, like, when I was reading Tokyo Ghost, I was so distracted from his art that I was like, oh yeah, I have to read the comic, kind of thing. So, yeah, I really like that one as well. So.
Yeah, I didn't make it all the way to the end. I because I made all the cuts to newer comics, that was just one that unfortunately fell by the wayside, but I was enjoying it. And that Killer Be Killed, I had to just go and pick it up just because of Brubaker, right? And it's one of those, I heard a lot of people, they weren't crazy about it, and I can completely see why.
Yeah.
But he's one of those writers, I mean, I know that it's dangerous territory, but he's one of those writers that I just totally trust. And even if there's stuff maybe in an issue that it might not appeal to me right away, like, I'm far from a James Bond. Like, I like James Bond movies, but I'm not like an uber fan of that kind of genre. But I really loved Velvet, and that's kind of like that genre, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
Was it his best story ever? No, but I still really enjoyed it, reading it, and part of that obviously was the art too, was just beautiful in that one. But I think the biggest problem that people had, which maybe appealed to my kind of teenage punk rocker in this Killer Be Killed, was this whole idea of he's now going to go up against kind of, it was kind of hinted at, I guess, like this 1%, this kind of the top 1%, the rich people. That kind of appeals to the inner child, the inner punk child in me. That sounds pretty awesome, some sort of like fulfillment, some sort of wish fulfillment or something, and seeing that manifested. Is it a super cheesy idea? For sure it's a little cheesy, with like a devil kind of character.
Yeah,
now tell him to do this. Of course it's totally cheesy, but I still really dug it. I have faith that it's going to go somewhere that is going to be entertaining, or he'll have some little twist in it, I hope. I mean, even the best writers have a down series, though. I guess that's the other thing, right? So
One thing which really got me very curious about the comic, he says it's going to be ongoing title. And that's kind of weird because it usually has never been really kind of the writer who has expansive amount of books or issues he's coming out with. So this one he actually wants the long game. But the first issue you can't really not like see it kind of long-term thing because you definitely something's really bad gonna happen to the character anyway.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, how many times can you kill somebody even though you're very good at it, and then you're gonna be okay with it? I don't know. I mean, the devil part, that's the thing about the devil part was like, oh, okay, what the hell is that? Is it actually that devil? Is he going to be like, what, it's going to go underground or he's going to be taken away because it's not going to kill anybody? And then what's going to happen to the character? That's going to be
I also feel like there was a show like that at one point, too, with a very similar premise. I just can't put my finger on it, but as soon as I read it, it really felt like there was some show from the 80s or 90s or whenever that I had seen that had a similar premise, but I just don't know. I don't know, maybe it was like a Demon Hunter or something. I know that there's movies like that too, but it really reminds me of some sort of TV show. I was just going to catch up in the chat here for one quick second. Jared Osborne was saying that he hates Hickman's blank page designs, and that's something I hear a lot of too. I don't know, I personally love it. I think Damien has said same thing as well. I think it's great. I think that kind of minimal use of the page appeals to me to some degree, but I can totally see why people would hate it and drive them crazy.
I think it kind of gets the style of it, the story kind of thing. I know it's like, oh my god, there's too many pages, you can just fill it up with storyline and you can read it. But it's part of the design, you kind of expect it now. Like, you know, like it's 29 issues, come on. So, yes, I understand what, it's been like, you know, it's for me, the first, I didn't understand it either. Because at the end of the day now they're saying that you should read those messages because it actually kind of tells you the kind of the background story thing as well with it. Like it has some kind of message there, but I'm not sure if it's right. I read somewhere in one of the websites saying that you should maybe continue understanding, like reading those little messages he has to give it to you because in context they should make sense.
Okay,
But somebody maybe just made some shit up. So, Rez, do you have you read any Brubaker stuff? Do you know who were we talking about, the Brubaker in generally, or you familiar with the writer?
Yeah, I've heard everyone talks about Brubaker and Sean Phillips. That's the duo that everyone loves. So I've ran into their series Fade Out. Is it the Fade Out? Yeah, the Fade Out, and it was another one that was. It looked similar to me when I saw it. Was it Beauty or something, or not Beauty, but Fatale. There you go, Fatale. Beautiful woman that everyone fell in love. And I picked it up and I started flipping through the pages, and I liked what I saw, but at the time I wasn't in the mood to read like a noir type of story. But I definitely want to start collecting, but maybe in a condensed manner, because I think that you know. It's their trades are just getting up there, you know. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just a comic shop that I have, but they charge an arm and a leg for trades with Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker in there, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So, but I think this Gotham Central will be a great way to experience Ed Brubaker for sure. I know that Sean Phillips is not on it, but I think, you know, I love Greg Rucka, so I think those two will make a great combination for me to experience together. Totally. You know.
Yeah, I think they're very similar kind of mindsets as far as when it comes to writing like crime. I think they probably have a lot more similarities than they don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I noticed with Greg Rucka, you know, his Lazarus series, that is something that I fell in love with and made me really love the way he writes and he introduces the characters. And I mean, I just can't speak enough great things about Lazarus.
So you know that?
You guys read that?
Yeah, I've read some of
I'm not reading it, but yeah.
Yeah, I've read some of that. I mean, read some of Lazarus. I dropped it because I had to drop some of stuff. There was the time when I had to concise my pull list anyway. But that same artist of Lazarus, he's in Gotham Central. He's the main artist.
Yeah. Yeah, Lark. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so that's fantastic as well. His
Yeah.
style of this drawing is really really cool. I like that a lot in
It
him as
is.
well.
I quite like his style. So I think I'm just really excited about Gotham Syndrome. And hear you talk about it, I was like, you know what? I trust her. I trust her. I'm
Well,
getting it.
it's a good start. I mean, the first story we have about Mr. Freeze, and that story just like 5 issues. I think it's 5 issues. I think so. It was 5 issue story, and it was fantastic. I started liking Freeze kind of character
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't familiar with it. Just like he's part of the Flash, the universe, whatever. Those TV shows or whatever. I'm not really watching those, but as a character in there and the interpretation, what they had to tell about Mr. Freeze, fantastic. Really good, really bad guy kind of thing. Didn't fucking care about anybody. Just freeze
Yeah.
this. You had using that freeze gun, and it's really good story. So that's
Yeah.
really good introduction to you, like what you're gonna expect in further. And there's this Joker story, which is okay, Joker. Everybody's like,
Oh,
oh,
the
it's
Joker.
Joker, Joker. But that Joker story was like, wow, this is kind of refreshing because I've never read something like that with Joker because it's usually one conventional story, Batman, Joker kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
This one
Yeah.
was no, Joker is badass, like really bad. And then
Mm-hmm.
and then another thing what really refreshing is that those detectives don't want to have anything with Batman at all. They hate him kind of thing.
I
We,
love that part of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
we want to do our job, so go
that's
away.
right.
And,
Yeah, yeah,
you have your own stuff. Let us do our shit, kind of
that's
thing.
right.
So,
I
Yeah,
think
it's
I
that
just had a
it takes that idea of like the FBI coming into the town and
yeah.
wanting to take over the case and going, hey, this is our
Yeah.
case. It's that exact same thing. Like,
Yeah,
fuck you,
exactly.
superheroes. Get the hell
Yeah.
out of here. We got this.
Yeah.
We don't need you. I love that side of it. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Just hearing you talk about it, I realized that I like villains more than superheroes. I mean,
well.
that's why I probably that's why I probably don't draw the superheroes because I think I like the villains more.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Well,
hilarious.
I think honestly, villains' stories is difficult to write. I mean, especially when it gets to involved with big characters like Batman, or your Spider-Mans, and those famous characters. I think that's when the people like, where do we take it? Because vast history doesn't help either. I mean, how many years has been written? But this is like, as I say, this is kind of things I wish I was when I was reading this one. I was like, why DC is not doing it again? Something like that. It's so good to get somebody from who doesn't like superheroes. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Attractive. Like, oh, I don't know anything about it. Not only we're gonna introduce you to those bad guys, but something you're gonna hear about superhero. But this is kind of really good way to say this is the world. We're gonna introduce you to it, and that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and
fantastic.
that's really what I like about Brubaker too. I mean, his kind of outlook with his writing is he seems to always be able to kind of take that different viewpoint of whatever topic or whatever genre he's tackling, and that's what always really appeals to me about his writing. I mean, that criminal series just is still some of my all-time favorite stuff that I've read of his, and it's that kind of taking that noir kind of genre or crime drama genre and just kind of, even if it's not always about broad strokes about like, oh my god, that is so different. Sometimes it's really subtle stuff, but it's just such a nice angle to read something that's a little newer and refreshing. And I mean, once he got that deal with Image, it was like, that's amazing. So I mean, we know we're just gonna get Brubaker and Phillips stuff for as long as they want to tell it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. Really lucky in that sense this day and age that we have like the Image stuff where you have those writers who just can do whatever the hell they want to do with it.
Yeah, totally.
So, exactly. You can like, even I'm gonna write a story. I'm pooping on a toilet. That's my story. I want to produce this one.
I've
why
never
not?
heard anybody write a story about a guy pooping on a toilet like Brubaker did. It was unbelievable. I never expected that.
Imagine that. I was reading a newspaper on the toilet and suddenly, ba-boom, something like that.
I didn't have toilet paper. Oh my god, I didn't see that coming.
Exactly. That's the thing. The beauty about comic books, you can take them anywhere you want it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I really, really, I get it. Like talking about it now, it's just like, oh yeah, so good. We have so many great stories.
I guess he's a writer. He's one of the writers on this Westworld TV show that's coming too, which is interesting to see how it translates to TV. And again, I'm assuming he's one of a team. I don't think by any stretch that he's the only guy. So we'll see. I don't know. That'll be interesting.
Did you see a trailer of that TV show?
I think I saw a little kind of teaser. Yeah.
I don't usually watch trailers. I don't care about them. But this one came out. Honestly, I was surprised it came out in cinema in here when I went to cinema to watch the movie. And I was like, wow. And then you have quite interesting premise. Apparently, your body is taken away to somewhere, or your mind is taken away somewhere, and you like there's how they're gonna manipulate with your brains and stuff like that, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. We just gotta say there's 4 viewers now. We should also say hello to a rare appearance by the one and only Dr. Monkeybot watching in, which is awesome. Hello.
Wow. Hello.
I know. I feel extra special. Count Von Strange the Fourth is here as well. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much.
Hello. Okay.
And just to kind of Count Von Strange says Kill or Be Killed was all right. I thought interesting storyline, but there's too much demon stuff in my opinion. And then Howlermouse is saying that Hickman's never really grabbed me at all, but I can tell he's good. Go figure. And then Jared says Kill or Be Killed better not be a down series because it's a continuing series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dr. Monkeybot is just talking about he's coming at a good time. I guess we were talking about Gotham Central, and I think that's one of his.
Because I was saying to Rez on Twitter, and he was saying that he likes it a lot, that series. I think a lot of people I just discovered like lately, like also people like that stories to read. So really cool.
Yeah.
To discover something like that. Yeah.
Totally is. Yeah.
So you guys, anything from new books? You guys liking it a lot, or maybe Rez, are you picking up something brand new, or you thinking you're gonna jump on something you really like in single issues, maybe?
There's some things that I'm picking up in single issues, and some books that I'm wanting to get into, and they actually happen to be
sorry, I'm reading the comments here. Sorry.
Okay, but they happen to be crowdfunding projects. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, I'm really. I was gonna probably do a video about it, but let me tell you, it's so exciting. It's this one series called Steve Lichtman that this writer Dave, I think he's the illustrator or the writer, but Dave Raposa was talking about, and I follow him on Twitter, and it's this really funny take on I guess a He-Man type of kind of characters. Or something like that. It's really funny. They only give you a snippet of the comic, but they have their second printing coming out next month, and I'm like, I gotta be on it. I gotta get that. Gotta get those beautiful hardcovers. And then there's a single issue I just donated to the Kickstarter for. It's a series called Little Girl Black, and it's supposed to be some kind of really, really dark story where this guy is kidnapping women and keeping them down in his basement, kind of thing. It's really dark and crazy. Yeah, I know. You're like, oh my god. But yeah.
Did we have that kind of story in the newspaper somewhere?
Yeah. But it's like, if this guy can write from what I mean, if it's a good story like I've heard, I'm excited about it. And he has the first. I got the first issue, but he recently emailed me and let me know since I donated to his Kickstarter. I think he added in the second issue. So I'm really excited about that because I need something different than what I have right now, Yeah. Than the zany, kind of, because right now I'm recollecting. I had the single, not the single. I had the trade paperback, but I recently tracked down Max Immortal and.
Awesome! That's awesome.
Yeah. I never heard about it.
And it's so wacky and strange. It's just so crazy. I love it, but I'm like, I need something different. So I'm breaking up the monotony and going to something dark and dreary and macabre, and then I'll probably jump back into something happy. I
was just looking on Veach's website today about that Max Immortal because I'm thinking of picking up that collected after what Johnny Zero was talking about it yesterday. It sounds incredible. It sounds really, really good. Yeah.
You'll love it. I know you would love it. This is something that I would look at it and think this is comic rack. This is him right here. So
apparently, Rasa, it's kind of like a take on a Superman type of character, but it also mixes in some of the reality of what happened to Siegel and Schuster, the creators of Superman, and how the comic book industry treated them. So it kind of mixes in this kind of Superman type hero and then the real life stories about the industry at the time. So apparently it's fantastic. And when I was looking on Veach's website, the name of which escapes me right now, he's got a lot of books of his for sale there, and they're all, unfortunately, they're not in the single issues. It's all collected stuff, but I don't know, it'd still be great to read. I can't believe I blanked on the name of it, but yeah.
Definitely try to get his single issues. I noticed that there may be a trend with his stuff and collected issues only being in black and white, which is not a problem.
Okay.
I actually think it's giving me a new form, like a newfound love for black and white. You know, usually I'm drawn to color automatically, but looking at his artwork in black and white is just as beautiful, to be honest. It's kind of it's weird. You get that feeling like you don't mind it not being in color, and I'm glad that I got it first in black and white. I really am. Seeing it in color is like an extra treat for me, you know.
Yeah, totally. That's the bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some sample pages as well, and it looked pretty great. I mean, he's got a very distinguishable kind of, especially when it comes to like people's faces and stuff. It's pretty easy to pick out his style now that I'm an expert just reading the one story. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it sounds like such an intriguing story.
Yeah.
It is. And even the way it opens up, it just immediately pulls you in. You know how sometimes you just, because they may be weird and it's just not going to pull you in and you're kind of like waiting for something to happen. Let me tell you, that's not the case with Max Immortal. The first page, I was already pulled in and happened to be doing a little bit of accent in there. And it didn't bother me, which usually bothers me when I read some stories and it has this really drawn out accent. I was like okay with it. I was like reading it and I was like, you know what? I can get with this. I'm fine. Let's keep going. You know, it's really good. I really enjoy it, and I think you would too.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it.
I need to research a little bit more, so see if I like it. Maybe I'm gonna pick it up as well.
Hopefully, you guys can find it in the dollar bin. I wasn't so lucky.
Yeah, I'm gonna scour, but I have a feeling something like that I might not have any luck. But let's hope.
Well, if you want me to, I'll pick it up. I'll pick them up for you. You know.
Oh, okay. So you found them at a place in your town there? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. We can work out some sort of trade. I've got some of those Winnipeg stuff sitting here for you, so we can work on a trade.
Yeah. I'm so excited about that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of goes to what you were saying about kind of supporting these guys on Kickstarter and stuff. There's something great about it, you know, seeing these newer artists and who are just trying to get their book out in any way they can. They're not attached with any sort of publishing company. They're doing it themselves. I don't know. It's good to kind of support these people that are doing it. Like that one girl who did that the book that I'm so good with names on. Like, you know, the fact that she started doing comics in January. It was so nice to, hey, I want to buy a copy, and then contacting her email and saying, hey, I'd like to pick up a second copy. When she showed up at the house, she was ecstatic. Like, she was just overjoyed that, oh my God, somebody wants to buy one of my books who doesn't even live in Winnipeg. Oh my God, it's going to go to the United States. You know, you could tell she was so excited about it, which is great. That's such a good thing. You really, you know, it's awesome.
It just makes you feel good.
Keep up with it.
Yeah. I think that's why I really love donating to, or you're not donating, but just supporting the cause for these artists, because I realized, especially after my little experience with trying to contact some of my favorite writers and illustrators and not getting the response I prefer, I kind of feel like, why am I giving my money to these guys and they don't appreciate me supporting them? Why don't I support somebody who wants my money, who's gonna appreciate me for what I'm you know, what I'm giving to them? So yeah, I'm starting to, that's why I'm digging into the Kickstarter. I think it's great because you find these artists that you know needs the money, and they're going to use it to, you know, funnel their dream.
Yeah.
And they're not going to treat you like crap, you know, and it just feels good, you know. It feels like you're giving back in a good way, you know.
Yeah. Well, and also it's going to further drive their passion, right? So did you ever get rid of all those Elephant Men stuff? Have you just ditched them now, or?
I want to ditch it.
I know you do, yeah.
And you know, I already had somebody say, "Oh, you shouldn't give up on it," or you know, "You're lucky he didn't say this to you." You know what? I mean, the thing is, the more I think about it, the more people I've talked to, even with differing opinions than me, it all comes to the same conclusion that he could have said a little bit more than what he did. Even, you know, and it's just like, I really love that series. I really do. And I'll be talking to someone, and we'll be talking about a series. I'm like, Elephant Man. You know, it's really good, but it's not good enough for me to be treated like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so yeah, hopefully I can find some, and you know, it's crazy because the dedication I had to that series, even ordering one of the out of print books and paying more for the book and shipping, you know, I was dedicated to completing it. That's just the completist in me. It's
Yeah.
it's a problem, but
Yeah, it's a huge problem. Yeah.
But you know,
Especially
I'll
when
be
you're
more
dealing with stuff that has numbers on it. You know, that's the worst thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you know what? Now I'm gonna focus more on the single issues. I think that's where it's at. You know,
Yeah.
get into those issues and the weird, complex, odd stories, and you know, the more alternative. It's driving me more into alternative. I'm more like you at the moment. You know, getting to stuff that you know has just been kind of abandoned for a little while.
Yeah.
You need some more life pumped into it.
Totally, yeah, and I mean it's just so much fun, and I mean that's something that Jay-Z and I talk about all the time. It's just the enjoyment. I mean, I could spend like even when we went to Red River Bookshop, and my son traded in a bunch of his comics. We went through his boxes, and he's like, I don't want these, and so he had whatever he had 30 or 40 books. The guy gave him like $80 worth of trade or something, and just seeing his face as we spent like the next hour just going through the stacks and just flipping stuff out, and oh, check this out, check. It's just so much fun. I could spend hours just sitting on the floor looking through the boxes, and it's a joy. And then you find that one comic. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun way to spend an afternoon. As sad as that sounds, it's so amazing.
No, it is. That's how I felt with the comic shop that's out of town for me. Let me tell you, they have back issues and back issues and back issues, and that's actually where I'm getting a lot of the Cerebus that I'm getting. Yeah, it's crazy. Like they actually have like tons. They have the bi-weeklies and they have the single issues, the ones that I guess ran originally. It's crazy. So I usually can call them and say, hey, do you have this? And they're like, well, we've been here for 30 years, so yeah. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm coming now. Put it aside. Don't let no one get it.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, it's kind of awesome because it's giving me freedom to actually get out of the other stuff that I'm usually staying in and explore a whole new world. You know, that's how I feel when I get into these other comics.
Yeah. Back to the comments just for 1 second. Jared Osborne reminds me of Chester Brown's story, "The Man Who Could Not Stop," which is a story about a man pooping on a toilet. I do remember seeing that in one of the Yummy Fur books. And then Hallermouse adds a book called Common Grounds actually had a hero and a villain pooping in stalls side by side, having a very deep talk that he said was very funny. So
there you go.
You see, we should check out Japan Underground for some nice little poop stories.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Just make sure you don't type that in the Google. You never know what's gonna come up.
This is quite a story.
And Hallermouse is just adding that he says that, damn it, Cerebus, they're everywhere but here. So I guess he's having problems finding the issues. And we were talking about it earlier, I think, before you got here, Tim, that they seem to be everywhere now. I seem to see them in dollar bins all over the place. So I don't know what's changed as far as that goes. You know, maybe a stockpile was found. I don't know what the story is behind it, but that's unfortunate.
Well, I can tell you one thing that I've noticed as of late. There's actually an archive on Kickstarter that has been going on for the past few years where they're archiving every page in the Cerebus story. And it's like, I don't know, and I think what they're doing is sending out this archive once they archive all the pages, stuff that hasn't been inputted into the actual story. I think they're giving it to their Kickstarter supporters or something because I think that may be the reason why maybe it's going to get reprinted or something, and now people are trying to purge what they do have in their collection, and it's going to be being sold for cheaper because everyone knows it's going to come out in probably some glorious collection or something. I don't know, you know.
Well, this trade is like 1987 been produced, so imagine.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was newer than that. Okay.
No. So this is like it says, oh, there you go, 1987 first printing.
Oh, okay.
Well,
the one I have is 1991 or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, they have been produced like 90. So imagine quite a long time since this came out, like more popular on the shelf. So I would
Yeah.
like to see. I mean, I'm enjoying it in the trailer because this is the only thing I have to see at the moment. But it would be interesting to see how it was portrayed in single issues. But have never. I mean, I've been to going to this London Comic Mart. I mean, I always like discover lots of new stuff, but I've never seen Cerebus. I mean, never. I mean, a lot of people were on YouTube talking. There was a time, and quite a few people were talking about it as well. And I was like, oh, I really would like to see what it's all about. What is the fuss about Cerebus?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, you don't think about it. When we went to the coastal town and I found this trade, I was like, wow, look at that. It's actually, I can purchase one. So
Yeah.
so it was fantastic to find.
Jared Osborne is saying that Dave Sim gave away a lot of issues of Cerebus just this spring when the warehouse he was renting space in closed. So maybe there's one of the reasons why it's all out there. Tim is saying that Cerebus in Hell is coming soon. Speculators are out there now.
Not good.
And then Jared is also saying, which is something that I've heard as well too, that as the series goes on, he says that I feel I should warn them that Cerebus gets nearly unreadable at the end. And I've heard that maybe some of his kind of personal politics and his views kind of overpower the comic. I haven't read them myself, but I've heard that kind of happens near the end of the series, that it gets kind of a little less digestible as far as the content and stuff, but I don't know firsthand, obviously.
Yeah, apparently he went a bit crazy and he started just to produce whatever he was in his head, and he just didn't care about people's opinion.
I heard the same exact thing actually with when I called the comic book shop and I said, hey, can you hold some copies of Cerebus aside for me? And he went on we talked for an hour. You know, we usually do that. We'll talk for like an hour or 2 hours
That's awesome.
about
That's so great.
about whatever I'm gonna get, and he'll start telling me all these backstories, and he's like, yeah, well, he did this and he did that, and you know, I just think you should stop at this story, and we both and we both came to the conclusion that I should stop at Jaka's story, which was like the story that Mr. Osborne told me to look at, and so I was like, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. I think I'll do that. You know.
Tim is saying issues number 26 to about 150 are gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the High Society, I think, is the one that everyone loves.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
And just one last thing, Dr. Monkeybot is saying that he got really lucky, and his local record shop called me and sold me 250 of the 300 issues in one hit. So that's a pretty sweet score there.
Adam is genius when it comes to that kind of collecting. Like somehow he goes somewhere and he has this little nookie thingy in charity shop where they say, "Here, just take it," you know.
Yeah, he comes in talking his smooth talk in his quiet voice, and
exactly.
Here, take them. I want to sell you these, please.
No wonder when you watch Adam video, you like just okay, just say whatever you want. I'm just gonna listen. You know,
that's hilarious. That's good. That's good to hear though, Rez. Like going in and just hanging out there for an hour, because I mean that's obviously also a huge part of the fun, right? Like just hanging out with these guys and just chatting.
Just listening to them talk about all kinds of things. I love it. I just hearing their opinions, and you know, usually it's funny because I find that I'm meeting so much people as of late who just know my taste right off the hand, and they'll just tell me, "Get this." I'm like, "Okay," like get this. I'm like, "Okay, I get it." And I haven't had any bad luck as of late when I go to that shop. I just don't. You know, it's like talking to Johnny. He knows what I like.
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny how it's important or it's essential if you have a comic book guy who can actually chat and actually be having conversations, just simple stuff, that having rapport, and it's how important for you, like that somebody cares what you want to read or somebody got suggested, and then suddenly people are surprised. So why are you going there? Why are you spending so much money in that show? Well, you know what? Because they care kind of what I want to read, and every single time I pick it up, like my guy, even though I get poster stuff, I call him and I'll have a like phone conversation as well. And it's like, look, I would like to maybe read this one. What do you think? And he's like, well, I heard this and this and this. If you interested, you can have it. If you, and then once he said to me, well, if you don't like it, just send it back. I was like, well, you want me to send you a comic back? It's like, yeah. And it's like, well, that's the thing. You know, you get that rapport. Even now, like, I go to Comic Mart, London it seems to be, because I go in there more often, even people who are selling, because there's always the same people who are selling most of the time.
Yeah.
They're already like, oh, yeah, oh, I know you. Do you want to check this out? And it's like, oh, really? Do you actually know? It's like, yeah, of course. You know, you have a conversation. It's nicer to have, like, productive conversation kind of thing. You know, people are just bullshit, talk like bullshit or something. But still, you're willing to, like, okay, I'll take my time, see how it is, what he has, and you're more willing to spend the money, or you kind of trust to spend the money where you're putting it. So fantastic. I like that.
Well, I've been even finding that just with this selling at this small convention. I mean, I've only done it twice, but like you said, you see the same faces, and it's, even from a seller's standpoint too, it's just kind of cool to sit and chat with all these people that come through. You know, you end up, like, even if we don't end up selling a lot of stuff, we end up just sitting and bullshitting with people all day, which was also kind of awesome. You know, spending a Sunday just hanging around other comic nerds is pretty great. It's a pretty good time. So
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I don't know. Anybody else have anything else that they wanted to chat about? We now have a grand total of 6. Count them, 6.
Wow.
I know, this is epic.
So if we want to be superstars,
Oh my God, 7. Sorry, breaking news.
Oh, okay.
7.
Oh goodness, it's climbing.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I've been lately tuning in to a lot of anthologies, a lot of anthology books. I don't know if you guys have come across Monstrosity.
No, I've never seen that.
No.
My Alterna Press. You ever heard of the Alterna Press? But I came across these quite a few months ago. I've been hoarding them. I'm like, I don't want you guys to know how bad I am.
You're just as bad as the rest of us. Don't even worry.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, I got this pile of comics. I need to hide them so no one knows that I'm like really bad. But I completely, I'm into the anthology. I'm like, something short and sweet is it's right there for me, you know. You know. But I've been getting into a lot of miniseries and anthology and you know, just anything kind of short and just simple.
And that's what I always end up saying to people who are like, hey, where can I start for some of it? It's anthologies just seem to be the way to go. Just get in there, see a bunch of writers, see a bunch of artists, and then follow those, you know, follow the ones that you've really liked out of the story. You know, it's tough though. I was saying, I just picked up this Negative Burn, 2 issues of Negative Burn, and they had the what's the guy from Tongue Lash, Rez? What's his name again?
Dave Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. Yeah, so it's got a couple of stories from him in there, and they're not very good. So it's one of the almost kind of the reverse. I probably would have passed his stuff by if I would have just read it in that anthology, because it just didn't strike me as anything too amazing. But I mean, it's jam packed with names, like even that book, and I think it went. The issues I have, I think, are like 37 and 38. I believe it went into like the 50s from Caliber, and it's great because each issue is 64 pages. I picked up mine for kind of $2 and $3 a piece, and it's just packed with stuff. Unfortunately, it's one of those anthologies though that really is hit and miss. Like the ones that are bad are pretty fucking bad. You know what I mean? And the ones that are good are just kind of okay. But
it's like, man, how did this get published?
it's tough though. I mean, that's the gamble, right? With some of them, and I think when it was coming out was also the thing too. It really seems to be kind of that. What in my mind is kind of what the alternative comics can be at their worst. It's the type of alternative comics that people think about and reference when they think of like indie comics. Is like, oh my god, it's this, you know, really masturbatory kind of stuff, and they're just drawing just for the sake of it, and blah blah blah, and there's no story, and some of it is exactly like that. It's like, man, there's no story here. I don't even know what the hell this is, you know. So
I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've ran into like a few of those recently, and I'm like, wow. And I try because they got such good recommendation, and I'm like, still no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I like libraries. I mean, if like whatever I would like to discover something, I always look at library first before I actually purchase it, because it's at the end of the day I mean, you can buy lots of things, but how many you can buy? So you have to kind of find alternatives. And I always say, like, libraries are essential kind of part of a way if you don't know something, like, just type it, see if you have it. If you don't have it, yeah, of course you're gonna have to go to other routes, like cheaper versions or whatever you can buy it. But I found many things which I wanted to discover. I started with library and I read it and I started like, wow, this is good, and I started reading. Like, just, I know some bizarre stories, like like underground more stuff you probably wouldn't have it in libraries, but general stuff, like, which is easier to get through, especially if you don't want to invest the money, it's really good to go to libraries to do that.
Our library downtown has a really great section, especially not only of graphic novels. That section is okay, but they've got a really good selection of books just on like the history of comics in general, and a lot of books like focusing on specific artists, obviously like big names like Kirby and Ditko and stuff. But then even when I went and kind of wanted to learn more about Winsor McCay, they had a bunch of books about him and his Little Nemo series and stuff like that. Like, it was really impressive what the library that we have is kind of compiled over the years, because I don't remember it being that I don't remember it being all that great. I mean, that also might be a change in my taste too, so maybe that's partially it. But it was it's a totally good resource to find out anything, especially comics related, and just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, there's always people sitting right around the graphic novels, just sitting and reading, right? So you don't even have to take it out; just hang out in the library and just read a book, So
yeah. Especially when the kids, for example, they're teenagers, they always like hang out in the library here locally. It's like when I go in to check, and most of them have the book I want to actually pick it up, and it's like, oh no, I have to wait for them to finish reading. So I go I go shopping, go back. Oh, there you go. It's on the shelf now, so I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's not the highest level of like comic book based books in my library, but most of the stuff, like, if you can't even recommend it. So I tend to recommend it to see if I can, like, if they pick it up or not.
Yeah. Sorry, Rez, go ahead. I'm just my daughter's at the top of the stairs. You guys chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a minute here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I like to go to the Barnes and Noble too, or bookstores, and read. I'll sit down and read, and if I don't want to go to the library, I know they're gonna have that book that I want to read. I'll go right to the store, and I'll sit in there for a few hours and read. And that's how I actually read Patience by Daniel Klaus.
Really?
I got to read it. Yeah. I was like, you know awesome. What? I'm like buying yeah. I was like, I'm gonna no buy. So I'm gonna read it to my heart's content. So I read the Daniel Klaus book. I read the Paper Girls, and I read Scotty Young's I Hate Fairyland. And I didn't have to pay for it.
There you go. I mean, probably I don't know how it's Barnes and Nobles, but in here in UK you have those like bookshop as well. They have like sitting area. So why the hell not pick it up, sit down, and just whatever. If you spend more than 10 minutes, nobody's gonna look at you anyway. So. Exactly. And you know what? They have a little area for the kids, so I could just sit down and just read until I get tired of sitting. It's perfect then. Why the hell the buying? Just go to Barnes and Nobles and just read some graphic novels. But that's the thing. That's how many solutions you can find for reading anything. Like whatever you can enjoy. There's so many things you can just, whatever springs in your mind. Probably that works. To find something you really like. But yeah.
Yeah, because it's better than actually going in a comic shop and them telling you, hey, don't touch this, don't touch that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, some of them don't let you open up the packaging of certain things, which I find really just kind of counterproductive.
Yeah. You know what I really hate in the comic book shops is that they wrap. They have the graphic novels wrapped. So you can't really see inside it. So what you show me a product, but I can't look inside it. So like my comic book guy always says he removes the wrap, even though some people like this. He knows a couple of his clients where he's like really specific. You cannot unwrap it, otherwise it's not new. So you can't sell for the price. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna keep some. But his customers usually wants to see what's inside. What are you buying? So that's the thing with graphic novels. Like, why would you wrap it? Because it's essential for you to see what's inside. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm just at the moment. I'm just like, if I want to see something, and if I have to deal with the packaging getting in the way, we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna have to go somewhere else,
Yeah.
where I can look at it for free. But
Yeah, exactly. That's nice, but yeah, but I mean, I'm getting into trade so much now. I'm looking. The hardbacks is the thing for me now. It looks so much better on the shelf.
I like your shelf though. I like looking at all those comics. It just makes me want a comic shelf. I'm just like, I need one of those.
Well, I got this thing from Howler Mouse's videos, because Howler Mouse has this bigger shelving, like much wider, like and he stores the comic books in there as well. So kind of, I think I got idea from a couple of YouTubers as well. So I thought, oh, that's actually good, because at the end of the day, you can just, like, oh, there you go, slide out, and there you have a comic. So I like that as well. Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah. Well, it's another thing you can do now.
You know what? I'm gonna go to the store and look for a cheap shelf. And,
actually, yeah, talking about cheap shelves, I go to charity shops. So because I don't want to, like, if I'm thinking of a new shelving, charity shops are perfect for that kind of stuff as well.
They are.
Yeah.
And me, watch my shelf be empty one day, and then the next week you're gonna see it's gonna be completely full, and you're like, whoa, what happened there? How did she get it that full? And I'm like, I have problems. We talked about this.
Yeah, it's the best problem to have. Is that I think is perfect. Yeah.
Hi, sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
That's fine. You saw me. I had to stop a couple times. They were throwing stuff at me.
Let's just see what's happening in the side here. Mass Panther is here. Hello, Mr. Panther. Jared Osborne was saying he just reread Cerebus volumes 5 to 8 and liked them a lot. Dr. Monkeybot is saying, if you've never tried them, you should check out No Brow. They're a UK-based publisher that focuses on illustration, and they produce a magazine occasionally that has some great stuff in it. Yeah, I love No Brow as well. There's some amazing... They just have some incredible stuff. But, I mean, they're another one of those publishers that's kind of hit and miss, because there's a couple things I've read that I wasn't so crazy about. But the magazine is pretty good, or that books-type magazine is fantastic.
Drawn and Quarterly too. They're kind of hit or miss, but they have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they were huge for me growing up. Like, that was Drawn and Quarterly and Fantagraphics were the two big publishers for the stuff that I was reading. Like, they had an anthology, Centrifugal Bumble Puppy, I think it was called. The Drawn and Quarterly guys did, and that exposed me to, like, guys like Seth and Joe Matt and all those big names for me. And like, they were just, it was so great. And Fantagraphics, the same thing. Fantagraphics was just...
I love Fantagraphics.
Those were my publishers back then. I just absolutely worshipped those two companies.
Yeah, they're just a good company overall. Like, I recently had... I purchased some books through another company that it was a Fantagraphics published book, and they were offering a mini comic from that artist. And I called them up and I said, hey, I bought the books already, not from you, but can I have the mini comic? And they said, yeah, sure, and just pay for the shipping. And they sent it to me, and I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
Really good company.
Yeah. Christina recently on Twitter was showing off the women's comics collection
that
got from Fantagraphics, and that looks incredible. So that's definitely high on my list. Do you deal at all with in-stock trades, Rez? Have you looked into them at all?
Yeah, I did a few hauls from them. And to be honest, my first two experiences with them, I didn't really care for them at first, because they took forever. It took like 2 weeks for me to even hear a response from them about my order. Everyone else says that they're really quick, but I didn't notice that my first experiences with them.
Did they carry graphic stuff and things like that, or did they just kind of mostly stick to the bigger publishers?
And that was another thing I didn't like about them. You really don't find a lot of the Fantagraphics and more indie publishers. You find a lot of the Marvel, DC, but they did have two books I was looking for, but it was like literally maybe 2 weeks after they were already out. After the pre-order ended, and I was like, okay, it's not even. It wasn't really even cheaper, to be honest. It was actually
Really?
cheaper to get it on Amazon than it was their site, which I was a little
Oh,
surprised
really?
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So sometimes it's just better to get it off Amazon. Sometimes I notice,
Yeah.
It's a little upsetting because they're not the best about books. You know how they
Yeah,
package their
no,
stuff.
they're
Yeah,
the
they are
shits
horrible.
about books. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
horrible. I can tell
They
you.
don't know how to package them at all.
You know what? I say, yeah, give me 50% off of this.
Yeah. Well,
Wow,
keep your
yeah.
book. Yeah.
well, that was the
Keep your
thing
book.
when I got that Inner City Romances collection,
Yeah.
and they sent it in like the fucking bubble mailer. I just contacted them. It's like, listen, this is just unacceptable. And I said,
Yeah.
so you're gonna send me a new one? And they're like, yeah, we'll send you another one and send it back to me. It's like, okay, well, then you're gonna, obviously you're gonna pay for shipping. And I had them prepay. I didn't even want to have the chance of them having to reimburse me. It was like, no, you guys shit the bed so royally that I want you to completely take over on this and send me a new book. And thankfully, it still showed up in a bubble mailer, and it was still, even though I made the complaints, and it was just like, forget those guys. The reason I'm asking about in-stock trades is because my parents are going to Arizona next year, and they're going for like a good month and a half, and they're going to get a U.S. post office box. So it was one of those things, like for us here in Canada to order from in-stock trades, it's obviously not free shipping, so it ends up being way more than the price of the book if I would just find it new somewhere. But I'm hoping that I can possibly find a couple of things on there next year to have shipped to them so they can drive it back over the border for me.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. It's just that you're not gonna find a lot of the books that you made.
Yeah.
I mean, more the indie, the more out there kind of books. You're gonna find more so the mainstream, which is it's not a bad thing. It just I find they're not my number one default retailer to go to. I usually
What's your number one been lately? What's your first place that you'd like to check out?
Let's see. Well, first is the out of town comic book shop.
Yeah.
They usually have a lot of stuff that I wouldn't think. I usually even just go there just for recommendations, just for them to tell me what I need to check out, what they think I would like. He puts stuff aside. He even actually lets me borrow things from his collection and read things from his. He'll bring stuff up from let me borrow it for however long I want to, as long as I take care of it. And that's where I got the Eternaut. You remember the? Yeah. He's the one who sold that to me, and that was from his collection. And so I'm like, that's the default. And second default is the overseas Amazon, because I can get stuff actually cheaper. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah. I go to Amazon FR, which is French, the France, or Amazon España, the Spain, and I have Lone Star Comics. That's another one I really like a lot.
Yeah. Really so the Amazon from overseas, like even when you add in the shipping, it still turns out to be a good deal, eh?
Yeah, because
that's crazy.
VIP book, it's crazy. That VIP book would have cost me $50 if I got it on Amazon.com, but I paid like $30. Yeah.
Shit.
That makes absolutely no sense. That's no sense.
No sense.
Yeah, imagine you have to ship it all away from suppose Europe, but then
crazy, but it's and too I like that I can kind of contact them and if there's any kind of damage I say, hey, this is messed up. And the overseas ones, they're kind of like more about replacing stuff and giving you like a better discount. I like it. I just like it a lot more. Yeah, they're more friendly.
Yeah. More friendly. It's amazing what that can do. They're more friendly, so I'd rather go overseas to buy something because they're more friendly. Like it's just
exactly right.
This is a no-brainer, right?
Yeah. If only somebody else would learn that,
Yeah, exactly. Pass it on to the rest of the company. Yeah. So I'm afraid I gotta wrap it up here. It was wonderful to get to hang out with the both of you today. It was pretty awesome.
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
And we had an epic 7 viewers. That's going to go down in history.
Yeah.
Right on.
Next time we're waiting for 10.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'll lose my mind. I won't know what to do. I'll freeze up. I don't know what'll happen.
We'll go stay then.
just to say goodbye to everybody watching. Thank you very much for watching and commenting. Tim and Adam and Jared and Mass Panther and I can't remember who else was around earlier. Count Von Strange. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching and commenting. That makes it even more fun to have people kind of included in the chat. And, of course, thank you two for coming on and spending some afternoon time with Comic Crack here on the channel. Yeah, let's do it again. You know, let's keep in touch and do more chats.
Yes.
Okay. Don't go away. I'm going to push the big red button.
Okay.
Okay, bye, everybody. Thank you.